Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. Today we're leveling the most popular thief class in MapleStory Global to level 200, the Night Lord. This class is the third most created class in the entire game besides Adele and Kanna. Like all other explorers, the Night Lord was remastered with the Destiny update, so while we're leveling up I'm going to go over all the skills, changes and improvements. But first, before we dive into that, a word from today's sponsor, Divine Arena AFK RPG, with a link to today's sponsor in the video description and top comment if you want to check this game out. This mobile AFK RPG is perfect to play alongside your dailies or when you're traveling. In Divine Arena you can face off against and collect various gods, all with different skills and abilities. There are various game modes and new collectible gods get added every month. Being an AFK RPG, there are auto-save rewards and more, making it easy to progress by just letting the game do its thing. This game is also very generous with their rewards and giveaways, with new codes to get more heroes and resources being shared regularly by the developers. Actually, I have a code right here. If you use DVAmerica1 in the game, you will get 5,000 diamonds and 200,000 crystals. So make sure to use that code if you're checking out the game. Divine Arena only launched a few weeks ago and there are still more rewards up for grabs as well. If you're interested in checking out this game, there is a link in the video description and top comment. I hope you enjoy if you check it out, and now back to the video. First job leveling or grinding isn't really a thing anymore these days, so we start at second job. And the second job already unlocks some key skills for our Night Lord, mainly your up jump and your dash. Your double jump and up jumps can be mixed together, so it's a pretty sick mobility skill. This class actually used to have this up jump as one of their 4-job skills. I think it was called Shadow Web. Now after Destiny, Night Lords also get an additional dash with a small cooldown called Shadow Surge, which is great for getting out of tricky situations when you don't want to double jump. Your Assassin's Mark toggle skill allows for more throwing stars to pop out, and this is one of the few skills in the game that actually gains more damage when you level up. So the higher level you are, the higher the damage on these bad boys will be. If you're playing in a Reboot server, those additional stars that pop out will lose their value pretty early on, but once you're funded enough and those little stars can one-shot or two-shot monsters around you, grinding with this class will be really good. This character is not burning, as you might have noticed already, so instead of grinding, I'm completing the Elinel Ferry Academy and Rihanna Strait team dungeons. These team dungeons give out useful rewards and can help new Maplers get some starting mesos and some useful spell traces as well if you're on a regular server. In Reboot we just kinda sell those. In second job you'll learn 2 new attacks, but out of those 2 you'll be mostly using the Shuriken Burst skill. This skill is pretty good to grind with now compared to the old one that only did like 1 line of damage. Man, the old one really pales in comparison to the new one. Grinding is not really yet on the menu as we complete a few more quests in the Gold Beach Team Dungeon to reach level 60, and then we start our third job advancement quest. Shuriken Challenge is your new bombing skill in third job, and it's pretty good. Make sure to also put a point in Spirit of the Stars, so you only need to use 1 set of throwing stars from here on out. Night Lords have pretty high base stats. Once you max the third job skill Expert Throwing together with the second job skill Critical Throw, you'll already have 70% additional critical rate, 75% critical rate in total if you don't have any Legion or Link skills. It's too bad that their low HP makes getting this class to level 200 challenging, because they don't require that much funding to work as bossing mules, I feel. You just need to focus mostly on ignore defense and boss damage, no need to focus on that critical rate as well. If you're just starting out and you're not sure yet where to train, feel free to check out my training guide. It also contains less popular maps. I'll add a link to that in the top somewhere in the video. Else feel free to use the guide menu to warp to the most popular training maps. Reaching level 99, I go and fight normal Zakum. When fighting this boss without burning, make sure to not defeat the boss fully, but only the arms. This way you can go back and grab another level up or 2 after 30 minutes. The rune I was using was still going after I defeated all the arms, so I kept training for a few more minutes just to use it to its fullest before starting the 4th job advancement. Night Lords mop in their 4th job with Showdown. I always thought this skill was kinda so-so because of its low amount of lines, but after the Destiny update, this skill now launches even more throwing knife projectiles, which really cements this class as a projectile mobbing class. Showdown is nice and all, but the prime way to grind is by those additional projectiles to shoot out, combined with the other projectiles from your mark skill. Showdown does increase the EXP and drop rate of monsters hit by the skill as well, and monsters hit by this attack won't deal any touch damage to you anymore, which helps surviving at least a little bit. Actually, if you're having trouble surviving, make sure to complete the level 33 quest from your light bulb called Have You Learned About Pets? This quest rewards a pet that lasts for a few days and it has an auto potion function. You can just use that so you don't have to worry about your HP that much anymore. I completed the one assign quest in Korean Folktown for some additional EXP and meso. I stayed in this area until I reached level 140. If you aren't burning, make sure to accept the level up potion reward from the guide menu. Just keep in mind that you can only claim this potion once ever. Night Lord's level 140 hyperscale is Bleed Dart, which increases attack and adds another stack of damage over time on monsters hit. The level 160 hyperscale Death Star is a short cooldown attack, pretty nice to use when you're mobbing. For your passive hyperskills, I think this class is a bit tricky, because it looks like you'll be switching between them depending on if you're mobbing or bossing. When mobbing, I use the skills that I have on right now. Perhaps using Showdown Spread would be good as well instead of boss damage and Quattro. When bossing, I'm sure you want at least remove the damage boost of Showdown and instead make Fatality Curse work on bosses. That's a decent boost in IED with that hyper skill. For inner abilities, I think boss damage on your first line would be pretty good. Right now I sell it for attack though. And like always, you can skip the final level towards level 200 by simply completing the level 190 Scrapyard introduction quest called Haven a New Home. This quest will give you a full level up once it's fully completed. And of course, like a classic Night Lord, we get absolutely destroyed by a Happy Erda. This class is like so close to getting one shot. I was looking back at my previous Night Lord video, and to be fair, me going over the 5th job skills then was kinda cringe. I didn't really like the 5th job skills, but I just didn't know how to use them properly back then. Your bread and butter for Night Lords is a 5th job skill called Spread Throw. This skill, as the name suggests, makes you spread out your throwing stars, but to have the maximum effect you have to stand super close to boss monsters so most of your spread will hit the monster. So it is a high risk, high reward skill, but combine this skill with your other 5th job skill Throw Blasting to deal massive damage to any boss. Night Lords can melt any boss with their super good burst. Just make sure to use Dark Side and your mobility skills to stay out of harm's way. Your 5th job skill Shuriken is a big burst skill that can also be useful when mobbing. Use this skill again to use the force to stop the massive shuriken midair. And the final 5th job skill is Dark Lord's Omen. This skill summons a scroll that spawns additional throwing stars. Also a useful ability to use when both grinding and bossing. This skill at the end explodes, dealing damage, and you can press the skill button again to explode it earlier. Night Lords are a class that still aren't easy to get to level 200 just because they're low HP. Getting the free pet without a pot will help a lot though. They require funding, so their small projectiles deal enough damage to train nicely, but they have relatively high base stats compared to most other classes, except for their HP of course. If you enjoy a high risk, high reward playstyle that will feel even better after some funding, then make sure to check out the Night Lord. What do you think of the remastered Night Lord yourself? Let me know in the comments. And that was all for today. As always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Thanks to Niels, Coninck, Raar, maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Mora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Anwar NHI, Ziggy Deer, Flidiot, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Froggy, Vira, Trevor, Michael Manchaka, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, ceemak, Striker Elk, Tidal Pan, Victor Sunstrom, Radical Jaws, Riser Are Gummy Bullet, Lovebird, Certito655, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Nar, Colando Belavia, my name is Coppersan and I'm super cute XOXO, PC Game Life, Dante Victory, Stanislaus Xumo Begus, Swap to Bish, Road to level 235, Turkish Stat, Reboot, The Passenger, Martin Panzik, I'm Disappointed, Lucky Beats, Gable Eck, Pedro Benetti, Conrad Castales, Ace Light, Ben Wolf, Max Bernhardt, Doc on the Talker Box, Muka 1017, BMB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Priscilla, Brandon Cam, Shake1, Vague Botnet, Feco, and Gianfranco Calderon Canavero. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe and happy mapling!